In the shadowed heart of medieval Europe, where the wind howled through skeletal trees and the moon cast a pallid glow over crumbling stone, there stood the forsaken village of Eldergrove. Nestled within the black forest, its thatched roof sagged under the weight of time, and its people whispered of a curse that clung to the land like damp rot. The year was 1348, and the spectre of the plague had already begun its grim harvest, but in Eldergrove a darker terror reigned. The tale began with a maiden named Isolde, whose beauty was said to rival the dawn, her hair a cascade of raven silk and her eyes a deep, mournful grey. She was the daughter of a lowly miller, yet her grace drew the eye of Lord Albrecht, the gaunt and brooding master of the nearby castle, Schwarzstein. Albrecht was a man of cruel appetites, his soul as twisted as the gnarled oaks that surrounded his keep. Rumours swirled that he consorted with fell powers, that his lineage was tainted by a pact made centuries past with a creature of the abyss. One frost-bitten eve, as the village huddled against the creeping chill, Isolde vanished. Her father, frantic, searched the mill and the frozen river bank, but found only her shawl, torn and stained with blood, snagged upon a thorn. The villagers, clutching crosses and muttering prayers, spoke of Albrecht's men seen lurking near the mill that day. Fear kept them from the castle gates, but Isolde's younger brother, Wilhelm, a lad of 16 summers, vowed to reclaim her. Armed with naught but a rusted dagger and a heart ablaze with vengeance, Wilhelm stole through the forest under a gibbous moon. The air grew thick with an unnatural mist, and the trees seemed to lean inward, their branches clawing at the sky. As he approached Schwarzstein, its turrets loomed like the teeth of some ancient beast, and a low, guttural chant echoed from within. The portcullis hung askew, rusted and abandoned, and Wilhelm slipped into the courtyard, where shadows danced without source. Inside the keep, the air reeked of mildew and something fouler, something metallic and alive. Torches sputtered in their sconces, casting flickering light upon tapestries depicting scenes of torment, knights impaled upon spears, maidens devoured by wolves with human eyes. Wilhelm's breath hitched as he climbed the spiral stair, each step groaning beneath his weight. At the summit, he found a chamber vast and cavernous, its ceiling lost to darkness. In its center stood a stone altar, slick with crimson, and upon it lay Isolde, pale, motionless, her wrists bound with iron chains. Before Wilhelm could rush to her, a figure emerged from the gloom, Lord Albrecht, clad in a robe of black velvet, his eyes glinting like polished obsidian. "You trespass in my sanctum, boy," he rasped, his voice a serpent's hiss. "Your sister is mine now, a gift to the one I serve." Wilhelm lunged, dagger raised, but Albrecht moved with inhuman speed, seizing the boy's wrist and twisting until the blade clattered to the floor. From the shadows came a sound, a wet, slithering scrape, and Wilhelm's blood turned to ice. A shape unfurled behind the altar, vast and formless, its edges shimmering as though woven from nightmare. Eyes, too many to count, blinked open within its mass, and a more yawned wide, lined with teeth like shattered glass. "Behold," Albrecht intoned, "the hunger beneath. It feasts on purity, and your sister's soul is sweet indeed." Isolde stirred then, her eyes fluttering open, and she screamed, a sound that pierced the stone and set the torches flaring. The creature surged forward, tendrils of shadow lashing out, but Wilhelm, fueled by desperation, tore free of Albrecht's grasp. He seized a fallen torch and thrust it into the thing's writhing mass. A shriek rent the air, unearthly and agonized, as flames licked at its substance. Albrecht roared in fury, drawing a curved blade from his robe, but Wilhelm dodged and plunged his dagger into the lord's chest. Black blood spurted forth, and Albrecht crumpled, his body dissolving into ash. The creature recoiled, its form collapsing in on itself, and with a final, shuddering wail, it vanished into the stone, leaving only silence. Wilhelm unbound Isolde, who clung to him, weeping, her once vibrant beauty marred by hollow cheeks and haunted eyes. They fled Schwarzstein as it began to crumble, stones tumbling into dust as though the castle itself had been sustained by the evil within. The siblings returned to Eldergrove, but the village was never the same. Isolde spoke little, her gaze fixed on unseen horrors, and Wilhelm bore scars that no blade could have wrought. The forest grew denser, swallowing the ruins of Schwarzstein, and the villagers swore that on moonless nights, a faint chanting still drifted from the trees, along with the distant, hungry howl of something that had not truly died.